Welcome! In today's video, I'm taking a look at the Cascadia Jogger from Road Trip Pattern Company. This pattern has some thoughtful details: articulated knee darts for less constrictive movement, a contoured pull-on waistband that sits comfortably under hiking gear, side pockets for trail snacks or treasures, and a panel design that adds a bit of visual interest. With all the paneling, placing the vertical drape lines and horizontal crotch and knee lines took some figuring out, so let's walk through it. The key pattern pieces are the front, side, back upper leg, and back lower leg, which combines the lower side panel and lower back. This last piece is particularly tricky to work with. I began by marking the crotch lines on both front and back upper leg pieces, drawing straight lines from the bottom of the crotch curve outward to the side seams. Then I marked the knee line on the front at the dart points and matched that on the back lower leg. One corner lines up perfectly with the dart, which was a nice little find. The rule of thumb is to place the drape line in the center of the hem. For the front piece, it's straightforward. Simply draw a vertical line from the hem center up toward the waistline. The back piece is trickier. How exactly do you determine the middle of the back hem? There are two notches on the lower back leg. Fortunately, the left notch indicates the side seam position if there was a side seam. Using the side seam information, we can identify the center of the back knee, the midpoint between side seam and inseam. With the center of the knee identified, we know that the drape line, theoretically, needs to be close to this point. But let's go through some examples to see if the drape line placement makes sense. I'll try different ways to split the bottom back leg into a side panel and a back leg piece, so that I can then find the middle of the back leg hem for the drape line. This is going to be like the Goldilocks and Three Bears story. First example, the lower side panel is found by drawing a line from the right notch to the far left hem. The drape line is drawn from the center of the lower back hem. Unfortunately, this places the drape line too far toward the side, missing our center knee mark entirely. Second example, the lower side panel is found by drawing a line from the right notch that is parallel to the left side. The drape line is drawn from the center of the leg section. Now the drape line sits too far toward the inseam and again misses our center knee mark. Finally, Goldilocks found her perfect fit. By splitting the lower back leg with a vertical line from the right notch, the drape line passes precisely through the center of the knee. This approach reveals that the side line on the lower piece isn't perpendicular to the floor. To properly draw this line, connect the left notch down to the middle of the side panel hem section. Next, can we check pattern balance on a design like this? Let's try. I'm not using the side panel for this and just focusing on the front and back pieces. First, I'll align the outseam hems. Do the side seams match? Not quite. They're both straight but angled differently. This could affect how the pants drape, even though these two seams are sewn to the side panel and not directly to each other. Are the drape lines parallel? Yes, except for the lower side panel section where the drape line is angled. Do the tops of the side seams match? Let's look at the seams in detail. For size 24, the front side seam is 35.19 inches. The corresponding seam on the side panel is 35.23 inches. The back side seam is 20.11 inches. The corresponding seam on the side panel is 20.14 inches. Overall, the seam lengths match remarkably well across the size 24 pattern. To check the balance from the inseam, align at the hems. Do the inseams match from the hem to the knee? No, and because these pieces are sewn together, I think it would be helpful to adjust these lines to be more similar. Are the bottoms of the crotch curve on the same level? It looks questionable to me. The back might be a bit too low. Generally, the back can be up to 3/8 inches lower than the front. Finally, are the inseam lengths the same? Yes, they match perfectly. Time to introduce our digital fit models, starting with Sofia. Sofia has a curved figure shape. They are 5 foot 6 inches tall. Their chest measures 51 inches, waist 44 inches, and hips 55 inches. Sofia will be wearing a size 24 jogger. Let's also bring in Joseph for an additional body shape. Joseph has a straight figure shape. They are 5 foot 11 inches tall. Their chest measures 52 inches. waist 49 inches, and hips 51 inches. Joseph will also be wearing a size 24 jogger. The jogger can be made from all types of fabrics, but it's recommended to use a stretch woven. For the digital version, I've used a recycled polyester spandex fabric. This fabric is made from 97% polyester and 3% spandex. At 110 grams per square meter, it's a lightweight fabric. For the waistband and cuffs, I've used a heavyweight 2x2 rib knit. The rib knit fabric is made from 95% cotton and 5% elastane. I should note these fabrics wouldn't be my first choice to pair in a real-world project. Examining the fit on Sofia, I've rendered the joggers without cuffs to better observe the natural leg drape unimpeded. Notice how the crotch line on the side panel doesn't perfectly align with either front or back, maybe due to those balance quirks. Overall, it looks like the pattern test versions. With opacity turned down, you can see the drape line alignment better. The front drape line isn't centered at the knee and appears too wide at the crotch. The back drape line centers nicely at both crotch and knee, but shifts off-center at the ankle. I'd recommend addressing the balance issues before fine-tuning drape line placement. We can also look at the fit with just a single leg to see how the crotch curve fits around the body. The fit actually looks remarkably good. Not too close and not too far from the bottom of the crotch. Sorry, I know I say crotch a bunch when talking about pants. I can also show you the pressure heat map, how tight the garment is against the body. As expected, these are exceptionally comfortable, relaxed joggers. The only place that shows significant pressure against the body is the waistband. Next, the seated test. Sometimes with this test, the pants will slide down so far that you'll see the intergluteal cleft, commonly known as the butt crack. No wardrobe malfunctions here, thankfully. The pressure map during seated position provides valuable insight into whether the pattern accommodates natural movement. I don't see massive amounts of yellow or red, so these joggers are also comfortable for sitting in. Now for Joseph's modeling debut. There's definitely excess curvature around the hips that isn't needed for their straighter figure. Still, the pattern works surprisingly well on a different body type. Interestingly, the drape lines appear to hang more effectively on this straighter figure, a valuable insight. And finally, Sofia's runway walk. Take it away. And that's it for my fit analysis. Thanks for watching my video. Don't forget to like, share, and follow for more virtual renderings of sewing patterns. Want to dive deeper into fit and sewing? Check out my blog at handmadephd.com, where I, a neuroscientist with a curious mind, am always exploring the science of sewing and fit. Until next time, stay inquisitive, friends.